You've worked so hard today. The day just flew by, didn't it? Now take a moment to pause and let everything go. Tonight we'll read the entire book of Joshua together. Listen slowly, comfortably. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people, get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I'm about to give to them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country, to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So Joshua ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. But to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember what Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you when he said, the Lord your God will give you rest by giving you this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock may stay in the land that Moses gave you east of the Jordan. But all your fighting men, fully armed, must cross over ahead of your fellow Israelites. You are to help them until the Lord gives rest to your fellow Israelites as he has to you, and until they too have taken possession of the land the Lord your God is giving them. After that, you may go back and occupy your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you east of the Jordan. Then they answered Joshua, whatever you have commanded us we will do, and wherever you send us we will go. Just as we fully obeyed Moses, so we will obey you. Only may the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your word and does not obey it, whatever you may command them, will be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Then Joshua son of Nun secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. Go, look over the land, he said, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, some Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab, bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when the city gate was about to close, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may overtake them. But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road to the Jordan as far as the fords. And as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, Rahab went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given this land to you, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the two kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on earth below. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death." The men assured her, "Our lives for your lives. If you don't tell what we are doing, when the Lord gives us the land, we will show you kindness and faithfulness." So she let them down by a rope through the window, for her house was built into the city wall, and she lived in it. She said to them, "Go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there for 3 days until they return, and then go on your way." The men said to her, "This oath you made us swear will not be binding on us, unless when we enter the land, you have tied this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers, and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside your house into the street, their blood will be on their own heads. We will not be responsible. But if anyone in the house with you is harmed, our blood will be on our own heads. And if you betray us, this oath you made us swear will not be binding on us." "Agreed," she replied. "Let it be as you say." So she sent them away, and they departed. And she tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went into the hills and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then the 2 men started back. They came down from the hills, crossed the Jordan, and came to Joshua son of Nun and told him everything that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, "The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us." Early in the morning, Joshua and all the Israelites set out from Shittim and went to the Jordan, where they camped before crossing over. After 3 days, the officers went throughout the camp, giving orders to the people. "When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, your God, and the Levitical priests carrying it, you are to move out from your positions and follow it. Then you will know which way to go, since ye have not gone this way before. But keep a distance of about 1,000 yards between you and the ark. Do not go near it." Joshua told the people, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you." Joshua said to the priests, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and pass on ahead of the people." So they took it up and went ahead of them. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of all Israel, so they may know that I am with you as I was with Moses. Tell the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of the Jordan's waters, go in and stand in the river." Joshua then said to the Israelites, "Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God. This is how you will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly drive out before you the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites. See, the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of all the earth will go into the Jordan ahead of you. Now then, choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe. And as soon as the priests who carry the Ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, its waters flowing downstream will be cut off and stand up in a heap." So when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Now the Jordan is at flood stage all during harvest. Yet as soon as the priests who carried the ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water flowing downstream was cut off and piled up in a heap far away at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan, while the water flowing down toward the sea of the Arabah, that is, the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the middle of the Jordan, while all Israel passed over on dry ground until the whole nation had completed the crossing of the Jordan. When the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Choose 12 men from among the people, one from each tribe, and tell them to take up 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan from right, where the priests are standing, and carry them with you and set them down in the place where you spend the night." So Joshua called the 12 men he had appointed from the Israelites, one from each tribe, and said to them, "Go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them that the flow and the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever." So the Israelites did as Joshua commanded them. They took 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, as the Lord had told Joshua, and they carried them with them to the place where they camped, and there they set them down. Joshua set up the 12 stones that were in the middle of the Jordan at the place where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant had stood, and they are there to this day. The priests who carried the ark remained standing in the middle of the Jordan until everything the Lord had commanded Joshua to tell the people was done, all that Moses had commanded Joshua. The people crossed over in haste, and after the whole nation had completed the crossing, the ark of the Lord and the priests crossed over before them. The Reubenites, Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh crossed over armed for battle ahead of the other Israelites, as Moses had directed them. About 40,000 armed for battle crossed over before the Lord to the plains of Jericho for war. That day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they revered him all the days of his life. just as they had revered Moses. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Command the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant law to come up out of the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up out of the Jordan." And the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord came up out of the middle of the Jordan. As soon as their feet touched dry ground, the waters of the Jordan returned to their place and ran at flood stage as before. On the 10th day of the first month, the people came up from the Jordan and camped at Gilgal on the eastern border of Jericho. And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your children ask their parents, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the Jordan before you until you had crossed over. The Lord your God did to the Jordan what he had done to the Red Sea when he dried it up before us until we had crossed over. He did this so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God." Now when all the Amorite kings west of the Jordan and all the Canaanite kings along the coast heard that the Lord had dried up the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over, their hearts melted in fear, and they no longer had the courage to face the Israelites. At that time the Lord said to Joshua, "Make flint knives and circumcise the Israelites again." So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the Israelites at Gibeath-Araloth. Now this is why he did so. All those who came out of Egypt, all the men fit for military service, died in the wilderness on the way after leaving Egypt. All the people who came out had been circumcised, but all the children born in the wilderness as they traveled from Egypt had not been. The Israelites had moved about in the wilderness 40 years until all the men who were of military age when they left Egypt had died, since they had not obeyed the Lord. For the Lord had sworn to them that they would not see the land he had solemnly promised their ancestors to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. So he raised up their sons in their place, and these were the ones Joshua circumcised. They were still uncircumcised because they had not been circumcised on the way. And after the whole nation had been circumcised, they remained in their camps until they were healed. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you." So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. On the evening of the 14th day of the month, while camped at Gilgal on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. The day after the Passover, that same day, they ate the produce of the land, unleavened bread and roasted grain. The manna stopped the day after they ate this food from the land. There was no longer any manna for the Israelites. But that year they ate the produce of Canaan. When Joshua was by Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. Joshua went up to him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" "Neither," he replied, "but as commander of the army of the Lord I have now come." Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" The commander of the Lord's army replied, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so.
There is a moment before the water parts, when fear and promise stand the same. A voice says, "Rise and walk forward," calling gently by your name. Be strong now, be courageous, this road is not unknown. Every place your feet will touch, I have already called home. The river waits in silence, holding yesterday behind. Step in first with trust, leave the doubt you carried inside. Stones are lifted from the riverbed, memory carved in grace. So when you forget tomorrow, you'll remember this place. Remember this place. The manna slowly fades away, a new land learns your song. I am the God who stays with you when the old has gone. Night falls, but I do not sleep. Day breaks in my care. Every season of your journey, I am there. Walk on, beloved child, do not turn aside. The promise breathes ahead of you with love that will not hide. From the first step to the last, you are loved beyond the river.
Now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its mighty fighting men. March around the city once with all your armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on their trumpets, have all the people give a loud shout, then the wall of the city will collapse, and the people will go up, every man straight in." So Joshua son of Nun called the priests and said to them, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of it." And he ordered the people, "Advance! March around the city with the armed guard going ahead of the Ark of the Lord." When Joshua had spoken to the people, the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets of ram's horns went forward, marching before the Lord and blowing their trumpets, with the Ark of the Lord's covenant following them. The armed guard marched ahead of the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard followed the Ark. All this time the trumpets were sounding. But Joshua had commanded the people, "Do not give a war cry, do not raise your voices, do not say a word until the day I tell you to shout. Then shout!" So the Ark of the Lord was carried around the city once, and the people returned to camp and spent the night there. Joshua got up early the next morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. The 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets of ram's horns marched in front of the ark of the Lord, blowing their trumpets. The armed guard marched ahead of them, and the rear guard followed the ark of the Lord, while the trumpeters played their trumpets. So on the 2nd day, they marched around the city once and returned to the camp. They did this for 6 days. On the 7th day, they rose early at dawn and marched around the city 7 times in the same manner, except that on that day they marched around the city 7 times. The 7th time around, when the priests sounded their trumpets, Joshua commanded the army, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. The city and all that is in it are to be devoted to the Lord. Only Rahab the prostitute and all who are with her in her house shall be spared, because she hid the spies we sent. But keep yourselves from the devoted things, so that you will not yourselves be devoted to destruction by taking any of them. Otherwise you will make the camp of Israel liable to destruction and bring trouble on it. All the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron are sacred to the Lord and must go into his treasury." When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed, so everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. They devoted the city to the Lord and destroyed with the sword every living thing in it, men and women, young and old, as well as cattle, sheep, and donkeys. Joshua said to the 2 men who had spied out the land, "Go into the prostitute's house and bring her out and all who belong to her, in accordance with your oath to her." So the young men who had done the spying went in and brought out Rahab, her father and mother, her brothers, and all who belonged to her. They brought out her entire family and put them in a place outside the camp of Israel. Then they burned the whole city and everything in it. But they put the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron into the treasury of the Lord's house. But Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute, with her family and all who belonged to her, because she hid the men Joshua had sent as spies to. Jericho and she lives among the Israelites to this day. At that time Joshua pronounced this solemn oath, "Cursed before the Lord is the one who tries to rebuild this city of Jericho. When he lays its foundations, he will lose his firstborn son when he sets up its gates. He will lose his youngest son." So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the land. But the Israelites were unfaithful in regard to the devoted things Achan son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, took some of them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven to the east of Bethel, and told them, "Go up and spy out the land." So the men went up and spied out Ai. When they returned to Joshua, they said, "Not all the people will have to go up against Ai. Send 2,000 or 3,000 men to attack it. Don't make all the people toil up there, because only a few people live there." So about 3,000 men went up there from the army, but they were routed by the men of Ai, who killed about 36 of them. They chased the Israelites from the city gate as far as the stone quarries and struck them down on the slopes. At this, the hearts of the people melted in fear and became like water. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down to the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening. The elders of Israel did the same and sprinkled dust on their heads. And a sad Joshua said, "Alas, sovereign Lord, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. Pardon your servant, Lord. What can I say now that Israel has been routed by its enemies? The Canaanites and all the people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe out our name from the earth. What then will you do for your own great name?" The Lord said to Joshua, "Stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Israel has sinned, they have violated my covenant, which I commanded them to keep. They have taken some of the devoted things they have stolen. They have lied, they have put them with their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. They turn their backs and run, because they have become liable to destruction. I will not be with you anymore unless you destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction. Go, consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: there are devoted things among you, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove them. In the morning, present yourselves tribe by tribe. The tribe the Lord chooses will come forward, clan by clan, the clan the Lord chooses will come forward, family by family, and the family the Lord chooses will come forward, man by man. Whoever is caught with the devoted things is to be burned with fire, along with all that belongs to him. He has violated the covenant of the Lord and has done an outrageous thing in Israel." Early the next morning, Joshua had Israel come forward by tribes, and the tribe of Judah was chosen. Then he had the clans of Judah come forward, and the Zerahites were chosen. He had the Zerahite clans come forward by families, and Zimri's family was chosen. Finally, he had the families of Zimri come forward man by man, and Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, was chosen. Then Joshua said to Achan, "My son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, and honor him. Tell me what you have done, do not hide it from me." Achan replied, "It is true. I have sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. This is what I have done. When I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe from Shinar, 200 shekels of silver and a wedge of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent, with the silver underneath." So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and there it was, hidden in his tent, with the silver underneath. They took the things from the tent, brought them to Joshua and all the Israelites, and spread them out before the Lord. Then Joshua, together with all Israel, took Achan son of Zerah, the silver, the robe, the gold wedge, his sons and daughters, his cattle, donkeys and sheep, his tent and everything he had, and brought them to the valley of Achor. Joshua said, "Why have you brought this trouble on us? The Lord will bring trouble on you today." Then all Israel stoned him, and after they had stoned the others, they burned them. Over Achan they heaped up a large pile of rocks, which remains to this day. Then the Lord turned from his fierce anger. Therefore, to this day that place has been called the Valley of Achor. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Take the whole army with you and go up to Ai. See, I have delivered into your hands the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. You shall do to Ai and its king as you did to Jericho and its king, except that you may carry off their plunder and livestock for yourselves. Set an ambush behind the city." So Joshua and the whole army moved out to attack Ai. He chose 30,000 of his best fighting men and sent them off at night. With these orders, listen carefully. You are to set an ambush behind the city. Don't go very far from it, but all of you be ready. I and all those with me will advance on the city, and when the men of Ai come out against us, we will flee from them as before. They will pursue us until we are drawn away from the city, for they will think they are fleeing from us as they did before. So when we flee from them, you are to rise from ambush and seize the city. The Lord your God will give it into your hand. When you have taken the city, set it on fire. Do what the Lord has commanded. See, I have given you these instructions. Then Joshua sent them off, and they went to the place of ambush and hid between Bethel and Ai to the west of Ai. But Joshua spent that night with the people. Early the next morning, Joshua got up and assembled the army, and he and the elders of Israel led them against Ai. All the fighting men with him went up and approached the city and camped north of Ai, with a valley between them and Ai. Joshua had taken about 5,000 men and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai to the west of the city. So the soldiers took up their positions, the main camp to the north of the city and the ambush to the west of it. That night Joshua went into the valley. When the king of Ai saw this, he and all his army got up early and hurried out to meet Israel in battle at a certain place overlooking the Arabah. But he did not know that an ambush was waiting for him behind the city. Joshua and all Israel pretended to be defeated before them and fled along the road toward the wilderness. All the men in Ai were called to pursue them, and they pursued Joshua and were drawn away from the city. Not a man was left in Ai or Bethel who did not go after Israel. They left the city gates open and pursued Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Hold out toward Ai the javelin that is in your hand, for into your hand I will deliver the city." So Joshua held out toward the city the javelin that was in his hand. As soon as he did this, the men in the ambush rose quickly from their position and rushed forward. They entered the city and captured it and immediately set it on fire. The men of Ai looked back and saw the smoke of the city rising to the sky, but they had no place to flee, either one way or another, for the Israelites who had been fleeing toward the wilderness had turned back against their pursuers. For when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city and that smoke was rising from it, they turned around and attacked the men of Ai. The men in the ambush also came out of the city against them, so that the men of Ai were caught in the middle of the Israelites, some on one side and some on the other. Israel cut them down, leaving them no survivors or fugitives. But they took the king of Ai alive and brought him to Joshua. When Israel had finished killing all the people of Ai in the open country where they had chased them, and when every one of them had fallen by the sword, all the Israelites returned to Ai and killed those who were in it. 12,000 men and women fell that day, all the people of Ai. For Joshua did not draw back the hand that held out the javelin until he had destroyed all who lived in Ai. But Israel did carry off for themselves the livestock and plunder of this city, as the Lord had instructed Joshua. So Joshua burned Ai and made it a permanent mound of ruins, a desolate place to this day. He impaled the king of Ai on a pole and left him there until evening. At sunset, Joshua ordered that the body be taken down from the pole and dumped at the entrance of the city gate, and a large pile of rocks was heaped over it, which remains to this day. Then Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal. He built it according to the command of Moses, the servant of the Lord, just as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of uncut stones, on which no iron tool had been used. On it they offered to the Lord burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. There, in the presence of the Israelites, Joshua inscribed on stones a copy of the law of Moses. All the Israelites, with their elders, officials, and judges, were standing on both sides of the Ark of the Covenant, facing the Levitical priests who carried it. Both the foreigners and the native-born were there. Half of them stood in front of Mount Gerizim, and half in front of Mount Ebal, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had formerly commanded when he gave instructions to bless the people of Israel. Afterward, Joshua read aloud all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses, just as it is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses had commanded that Joshua did not read to the whole assembly of Israel, including the women, children, and the foreigners who lived among them. Now when all the kings west of the Jordan in the hill country, in the western foothills, and along the entire coast of the Great Sea as far as Lebanon, the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites heard about these things, they came together to wage war against Joshua and Israel. However, when the people of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they resorted to a ruse. They went as a delegation whose donkeys were loaded with worn-out sacks and old wineskins, cracked and mended. They put worn and patched sandals on their feet and wore old clothes. All the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. Then they went to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal and said to him and the Israelites, "We have come from a distant country. Make a treaty with us." The Israelites said to the Hivites, "But perhaps you live near us. How then can we make a treaty with you?" "We are your servants," they said to Joshua. But Joshua asked, "Who are you and where do you come from?" They answered, "Your servants have come from a very distant country because of the reputation of the Lord your God. For we have heard reports of him, all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the 2 Amorite kings beyond the Jordan, Sihon, king of Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth. And our elders and all those living in our country said to us, 'Take provisions for your journey. Go and meet them and say to them, "We are your servants, make a treaty with us." This bread was warm when we packed it at home on the day we left to come to you. But now see how dry and moldy it is. These wineskins were new when we filled them, but now they are cracked, and our clothes and sandals are worn out from the very long journey. The Israelites inspected their provisions but did not inquire of the Lord. Then Joshua made a treaty of peace with them to let them live, and the leaders of the assembly ratified it by oath. 3 days after they made the treaty with the Gibeonites, the Israelites heard that they were neighbors living near them. So the Israelites set out, and on the 3rd day came to their cities Gibeon, Kephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim. But the Israelites did not attack them, because the leaders of the assembly had sworn an oath to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. The whole assembly grumbled against the leaders. But all the leaders answered, "We have given them our oath by the Lord, the God of Israel, and we cannot touch them now. This is what we will do to them. We will let them live, so that God's wrath will not fall on us for breaking the oath we swore to them." They continued, "Let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water carriers for the whole community." So the leaders' promise to them was fulfilled. Then Joshua summoned the Gibeonites and said, "Why did you deceive us by saying, 'We live a long way from you,' when you live right here among us? You are now under a curse. You will always be woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God." They answered Joshua, "Your servants were clearly told that the Lord, your God, had commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to wipe out all its inhabitants from before you. So we feared for our lives because of you, and that is why we did this. We are now in your hands. Do to us whatever seems good and right to you." So Joshua did this to them. He delivered them from the hands of the Israelites, and they did not kill them. That day he made the Gibeonites woodcutters and water carriers for the community and for the altar of the Lord at the place the Lord would choose. And that is what they continue to be to this day. Now Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured Ai and completely destroyed it, doing to Ai and its king as he had done to Jericho and its king, and that the people of Gibeon had made a treaty of peace with Israel and were living among them. He and his people were very much alarmed at this, because Gibeon was an important city, like one of the royal cities. It was larger than Ai, and all its men were good fighters. So Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, appealed to Hoham, king of Hebron, Piram, king of Jarmuth, Japhiah, king of Lachish, and Debir, king of Eglon. "Come up and help me attack Gibeon, because it has made peace with Joshua and the Israelites." Then the 5 kings of the Amorites, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon, joined forces. They moved up with all their troops and attacked Gibeon. The Gibeonites sent word to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal, "Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us. Help us, because all the Amorite kings from the hill country have joined forces against us." So Joshua marched up from Gilgal with his entire army, including all his best fighting men. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. I have given them into your hand. Not one of them will be able to stand against you." After an all-night march from Gilgal, Joshua attacked them by surprise. The Lord threw them into confusion before Israel, who defeated them in a great slaughter at Gibeon. Israel pursued them along the road, going up to Beth-horon, and cut them down all the way to Azekah and Makkedah. As they fled before Israel on the road down from Beth-horon to Azekah, The Lord hurled large hailstones down on them from the sky, and more of them died from the hailstones than were killed by the swords of the Israelites on the day the Lord gave the Amorites over to Israel. Joshua said to the Lord in the presence of Israel's son, "Stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the nation avenged itself on its enemies, as it is written in the book of Jashar. The sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day. There has never been a day like it before or since, a day when the Lord listened to a human being. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel? Then Joshua and all Israel with him returned to the camp at Gilgal. Now the 5 kings had escaped and hidden themselves in the cave at Makkedah. When Joshua was told that the 5 kings had been found hiding in the cave at Makkedah, he said, "Roll large rocks up to the mouth of the cave and post some men there to guard it. But don't stop there, pursue your enemies. Attack them from the rear and don't let them reach their cities. The Lord your God has given them into your hand." So Joshua and the Israelites slaughtered them completely, but a few survivors managed to reach their fortified cities. The whole army then returned safely to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah, and no one uttered a word against the Israelites. Then Joshua said, "Open the mouth of the cave and bring those 5 kings out to me." So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they had brought these kings to Joshua, he summoned all the men of Israel and said to the army commanders who had come with him, "Come here and put your feet on the necks of these kings." So they came forward and placed their feet on their necks. Joshua said to them, "Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Be strong and courageous. This is what the Lord will do to all the enemies you encounter." Then Joshua struck and killed the kings and hung them on 5 trees, and they were left hanging on the trees until evening. At sunset, Joshua gave orders for them to be taken down from the trees and cast into the cave where they had hidden. At the mouth of the cave, large rocks were placed, which remain there to this day. That day, Joshua captured Makkedah and destroyed it with the sword. He completely destroyed everyone in it, not a single survivor. And he did to the king of Makkedah as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Makkedah to Libnah and attacked it. The Lord also gave Libnah and its king into Israel's hand. Joshua destroyed it with the sword and every person in it. He left no survivors there. And he did to its king as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Libnah to Lachish and attacked it. The Lord delivered Lachish into Israel's hands, and Joshua captured it on the 2nd day. He destroyed it with the sword, and every person in it, just as he had done to Libnah. Meanwhile, Horam king of Gezer had come up to help Lachish, but Joshua defeated him and his army, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Lachish to Eglon and attacked it. They captured it that same day and destroyed it with the sword. Everyone in it was completely destroyed, just as he had done to Lachish. Then Joshua and all Israel with him went up from Eglon to Hebron and attacked it. They captured it and destroyed it with the sword, and its king and all its towns and everyone in them. He left no survivors, just as he had done to Eglon. He completely destroyed it and everyone in it. Then Joshua and all Israel with him turned to Debir and attacked it. They captured it, and its king and all its towns. They destroyed them with the sword and completely destroyed everyone in them, leaving no survivors. He did to Debir and its king as he had done to Libnah and its king and to Hebron. So Joshua conquered the whole region, including the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills and the eastern slopes, together with all their kings. He left no survivors. He completely destroyed all who breathed, as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua conquered them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, and from the whole region of Goshen to Gibeon. All these kings and their lands Joshua conquered in one campaign, because the Lord, the God of Israel, fought for Israel. Then Joshua and all Israel with him returned to the camp at Gilgal.
We thought the walls would never fall.
We thought the night too long,
But you were working quietly.
while we walked on.
Obedience felt like nothing.
But you called it fate.
Every silent step we took, you did not waste. When we chose the wrong direction and paid the cost, you met us not with anger, but with what we lost.
You fight the wars we cannot see.
You guard our sleep, even when our courage breaks. Your love we keep. You slowed the sun for those you love.
You heard our cry.
Time itself bends gently when you draw near. So I will wait without despair.
I will trust your way.
What feels like silence now is love at work today.
My steps are small,
But you are strong.
from start to end.
You walk alone.
In every pause and every fight,
We are loved in waiting.
When Jabin king of Hazor heard of this, he sent word to Jobab king of Madon, to the king of Shimron, to the king of Akshaph, and to the northern kings who were in the mountains, in the Arabah south of Kinnereth, in the western foothills, and in Naphoth Dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and west, the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites and Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites below Hermon in the region of Mizpah. They came out with all their troops and a large number of horses and chariots, a huge army, as numerous as the sand on the seashore. All these kings joined forces and encamped together at the waters of Merom to fight Israel. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them, because by this time tomorrow I will hand all of them over to Israel slain. You are to hamstring their horses and burn their chariots." So Joshua and his whole army came against them suddenly at the waters of Merom and attacked them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who defeated them and pursued them all the way to Greater Sidon, to Misrephoth, Maim, and to the valley of Mizpah on the east, until no survivors were left. Joshua did to them as the Lord had directed. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots. At that time Joshua turned back and captured Hazor and put its king to the sword. Hazor had been the head of all these kingdoms. Everyone in it they put to the sword. They totally destroyed them, not sparing anyone who breathed, and he burned Hazor itself. Joshua captured all these royal cities and their kings and put them to the sword. He totally destroyed them, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. Yet Israel did not burn any of the cities built on mounds except Hazor, which Joshua burned. The Israelites carried off for themselves all the plunder and livestock of these cities, but they put every person to the sword until they had destroyed them all. They left no one alive, just as the Lord had commanded his servant Moses. So Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua did it. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took control of the whole land, the hill country, all the Negev, the whole region of Goshen, the western foothills, the Arabah and the mountains of Israel with their foothills, from Mount Halak, which rises toward Seir, to Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon below Mount Hermon. He captured all their kings and put them to death. Joshua waged war against all these kings for a long time, except for the Hivites living in Gibeon. Not one city made a treaty of peace with the Israelites, but they took them all in battle. For it was the Lord himself who hardened their hearts to wage war against Israel, so that he might destroy them totally, exterminating them without mercy, as the Lord had commanded Moses. At that time Joshua went and destroyed the Anakites from the hill country, from Hebron, Debir and Anab, from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua totally destroyed them and their towns. No Anakites were left in Israelite territory, only in Gaza. Gath and Ashdod did any survive. So Joshua took the entire land, just as the Lord had directed Moses, and he gave it as an inheritance to Israel according to their tribal divisions. Then the land had rest from war. These are the kings of the land whom the Israelites had struck down, and whose territory they took over east of the Jordan, from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon, including all the eastern Arabah. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon. He ruled from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, from the middle of the gorge even to the Jabbok River, which is the border of the Ammonites, that is, half of Gilead. He also ruled over the eastern Arabah from the Sea of Kinnereth to the Sea of the Arabah, that is, the Dead Sea, and then eastward toward Beth Jeshimoth and south to the foothills of Pisgah. And Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephates, who reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He ruled over Mount Hermon, Salekah, all of Bashan to the border of the Geshurites and Maacathites, and half of Gilead to the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the Israelites had struck them down. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, had given their land as a possession to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. These are the kings of the land that Joshua and the Israelites conquered on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal, Gad in the valley of Lebanon, to Mount Halak, which rises toward Seir. Joshua gave their lands as an inheritance to the tribes of Israel according to their divisions: the hill country, the western foothills, the Arabah, the mountain slopes, the wilderness, and the Negev, the lands of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, the king of Jericho, the king of Ai near Bethel, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, the king of Gezer, the king of Debir, the king of Geder, the king of Hormah, the king of Arad, the king of Libnah, the king of Adullam, the king of Makkedah, the king of Bethel, the king of Tappuah, the king of Hepher, the king of Aphek, the king of Lasharon, the king of Madon, the king of Hazor, the king of Shimron Meron, the king of Akshaph, the king of Tanakh, the king of Megiddo, the king of Kadesh, the king of Jokneam and Carmel, the king of Dor and Naphoth Dor, the king of Goyim and Gilgal, the king of Tirzah, 31 kings in all. When Joshua was old and well advanced in years, the Lord said to him, "You are very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is the land that remains all the regions of the Philistines and all those of the Geshurites, from the Shihor River on the east of Egypt to the territory of Ekron on the north, which belongs to the Canaanites, the land of the 5 Philistine rulers, the Gazites, Ashdodites, Ashkelonites, Gittites, and Ekronites, and west of these the Avites. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites, from Ara of the Sidonians as far as Aphek, the border of the Amorites, the area of Byblos, and all of Lebanon to the east, from Baal-Gad below Mount Hermon to Labo-Hamath. As for all the inhabitants of the mountain regions from Lebanon to Misrephoth-Maim, that is, all the Sidonians, I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now apportion this land to the 9 tribes and half of the tribe of Manasseh. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the other half of the tribe of Manasseh had received their inheritance, east of the Jordan, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had assigned it to them. It extended from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, and the whole plateau of Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the towns of Sihon king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon out to the border of the Ammonites. Also Gilead, the territory of the Geshurites and Maacathites, all of Mount Hermon and all Bashan as far as Salekah, that is, all the kingdom of Og and Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei and had survived as one of the last of the Rephites. Moses had attacked these and dispossessed them. But the Israelites did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maccathites, so they continued to live among the Israelites to this day. But to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance, since the offerings made by fire to the Lord, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, as he promised them. This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan. The territory from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, and the whole plateau around Medeba, with Heshbon and all its towns on the plateau, including Dibon, Bamith-baal, Beth-baal-meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriathaim, Sibmah, Zareth-Shahar on the hill in the valley, Beth-peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth-Jeshimoth, all the towns of the plateau and the entire realm of Sihon king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon. Moses had defeated him and the Midianite chiefs, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba princes, allied with Sihon who lived in that country. The Israelites also put to the sword Balaam son of Beor, who practiced divination. The boundary of the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan. These were the towns and villages given to the Reubenites. This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Gad, clan by clan. The territory of Jazer, all the towns of Gilead and half the Ammonite land as far as Aroer near Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramath Mizpah and Betanim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley, Beth-haram, Beth-nimrah, Succoth and Zaphon, the rest of the realm of Sihon king of Heshbon, east of the Jordan, with its border extending to the end of the Sea of Kinnereth. These are the towns and villages given to the Gadites, clan by clan. This is what Moses had given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, that is, to half the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, the territory extending from Mahanaim through all Bashan, the entire realm of Og king of Bashan, all the settlements of Jair and Bashan, 60 towns, half of Gilead and Ashtaroth and Edrei, towns of Og's kingdom in Bashan, belonged to the descendants of Machir son of Manasseh, that is, to half the clans of Machir. This is the inheritance Moses had given them. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses had given no inheritance, since the Lord, the God of Israel, is their inheritance, as he promised them. These are the areas the Israelites inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel distributed to them. Their inheritance was assigned by lot to the 9.5 tribes, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. Moses had divided the inheritance of the 2.5 tribes east of the Jordan, but to the Levites he gave no inheritance among them. For the descendants of Joseph formed 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. The Levites received no share of the land, but only towns to live in, with pasture lands for their flocks and herds. So the Israelites divided the land, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Now the people of Judah approached Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb son of Jephunneh. The Kenizzite said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses the man of God at Kadesh Barnea about you and me, I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. And I brought him back a report that I was convinced was true. My fellow Israelites who went up with me made the hearts of the people melt in fear. But I followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. So on that day Moses swore to me, "The land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance and that of your children forever, because you have followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly." Now then, just as the Lord promised, He has kept me alive for 45 years since the time. He said this to Moses while Israel moved about in the wilderness. And now here I am today, 85 years old. I am still as strong today as I was the day Moses sent me out. I have as much strength now for war as I had then for going out and coming in. Now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. You yourself heard then that the Anakites were there and their cities were large and fortified. But the Lord helping me, I will drive them out just as He said. Then Joshua blessed Caleb son of Jephunneh and gave him Hebron as his inheritance. So Hebron belongs to Caleb son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite to this day, because he followed the Lord, the God of Israel, wholeheartedly. Hebron used to be called Kiriath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakites. Then the land had rest from war. The allotment for the tribe of Judah, clan by clan, extended down to the border of Edom, to the desert of Zin in the extreme south. Their southern boundary started from the bay at the southern end of the Dead Sea, crossed south of Scorpion Pass, continued on to Zin, and went over to the south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it ran past Hezron up to Adar and curved around to Karka. It then passed along to Asmon and joined the Wadi of Egypt, ending at the Mediterranean Sea. This is their southern boundary. The eastern boundary was the Dead Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan. The northern boundary started from the bay at the mouth of the Jordan, went up to Beth Hogla, and continued north of Beth Arabah to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. The boundary then went up from the valley of Achor to Debir, and turned north to Gilgal, which faces the Adumim Pass south of the gorge. It continued along to the waters of En-Shemesh and came out at En-Rogel. Then it ran up the valley of Ben-Hinnom along the southern slope of the Jebusite city that is Jerusalem, and continued up to the top of the hill west of the Hinnom Valley at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From the hilltop, the boundary went to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, came out at the towns of Mount Ephron, and went down toward Bala, that is, Kiriath Jearim. Then it curved west from Bala to Mount Seir, ran along the northern slope of Mount Jearim, that is, Kesalon, went down to Beth Shemesh and continued through Timnah. It then went to the northern slope of Ekron, turned toward Shikharon, passed along to Mount Bala, and reached Jabneel. The boundary ended at the sea. The western boundary was the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. These were the boundaries of the people of Judah, clan by clan, in accordance with the Lord's command to Joshua. Caleb son of Jephunneh was given a portion among Judah Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak. From Hebron Caleb drove out the three Anakites, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, descendants of Anak. From there, he marched against the people living in Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, I will give my daughter Aksa in marriage to the man who attacks and captures Kiriath Sepher. Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, took it, so Caleb gave him his daughter Aksa in marriage. One day when she came to Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, What do you want? She said to him, Give me a special blessing, since you have given me land in the Negev. Give me also springs of water. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Judah, clan by clan. The southernmost towns of the tribe of Judah in the Negev toward the border of Edom were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kina, Dimona, Adadah, Kadesh, Hazor, Ithnan, Ziph, Telem, Beloth, Hazor Hadata, Kerioth Hezron, that is, Hazor, Amam, Shema, Molada, Hazar Gadda, Heshmon, Beth-Pelet, Hazar Shual, Beersheba, Biziothia, Balaim, Ezem, Eltolad, Kesil, Horma, Ziklag, Madmana, Sansana, Lebauth, Shillim, Ain, and Rimmon, a total of 29 towns and their villages. In the western foothills, Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoah, Enganim, Tapua, Enam, Jarmuth, Adullam, Soko, Azekah, Sharaim, Adathaim, and Gederah or Gederothaim, 14 towns and their villages. Zenan, Hadasha, Migdal Gad, Dilean, Mizpah, Joktheel, Lachish, Bozkath, Eglon, Kabon, Lahmas, Kitlish, Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 towns and their villages. Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Iftah, Ashna, Nezib, Keilah, Akzib, and Maresha, 9 towns and their villages. Ekron, with its surrounding settlements and villages. From Ekron to the sea, all that lay near Ashdod, with its villages. Ashdod, its surrounding settlements and villages. And Gaza, its surrounding settlements and villages, as far as the Wadi of Egypt and the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. In the hill country Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Dana, Kiriath Sana, that is, Debir, Anab, Eshtemo, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 towns and their villages. Arab, Duma, Eshan, Janum, Beth Tapua, Afika, Humta, Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns and their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Utah, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns and their villages. Halhul, Beth Sur, Gedor, Marath, Beth Anath, and Eltekon, 6 towns and their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is, Kiriath Jearim and Rabbah, 2 towns and their villages. The Jebusites, who lived in Jerusalem, were not driven out by the people of Judah. To this day, the Jebusites live there with the people of Judah.
Battles fade into the dust of time. Mountains bow, the wars grow still. The Lord who fought before our eyes now teaches hearts to rest and heal. Every king, every
trembling feet fell beneath his faithful hand. Not by strength, not by the sword, but by promise firmly planned. The land unfolds like open arms, each border drawn with grace. He never left, he never turned away. His love remains through every day. From war to peace, from tears to song, God has loved you all along. Fields a sign, a home prepared. Every tribe, a place to stand. Even Caleb's waiting years bloom beneath the Lord's command. From shadowed hills to quiet ground, His love still calls your name. Through every fight, through every rest, you are forever deeply blessed. Remember this when nights feel long. God has loved you all along.
The allotment for the descendants of Joseph began at the Jordan, east of the springs of Jericho, went up from Jericho through the hill country to Bethel, and continued from Bethel to Luz, crossed over to the territory of the Archites in Ataroth, descended westward to the territory of the Japhletites as far as the region of Lower Beth Horon and on to Gezer, ending at the sea. So the descendants of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim received their inheritance. This was the territory of the tribe of Ephraim, clan by clan. The eastern boundary of their inheritance went from Ataroth Adar to Upper Beth Horon, and continued to the Mediterranean Sea. From Mikmethath on the north, it curved eastward to Tanath Shiloh and continued past it to Genoa on the east. Then it went down from Genoa to Ataroth and Nera, touched Jericho and came out at the Jordan. From Tappuah, the boundary went west to the Kanah ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Ephraim, clan by clan. It also included towns and their villages that were set aside for Ephraim within the inheritance of the Manassites. They did not dislodge the Canaanites living in Gezer. To this day, the Canaanites live among the people of Ephraim, but are required to do forced labor. This was the allotment for the tribe of Manasseh as the firstborn of Joseph. Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh and father of Gilead, who was a great warrior, had been given Gilead and Bashan. So the allotment was for the rest of the descendants of Manasseh, according to their clans, for the descendants of Abiezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Hepher, and Shemitah. These were the male descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, by their clans. Now Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but only daughters, whose names were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They approached Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our relatives." So Joshua gave them an inheritance along with the relatives of their father's brothers, as the Lord had commanded. Manasseh's allotment consisted of 10 tracts of land besides Gilead and Bashan across the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received an inheritance among the sons. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the descendants of Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh extended from Asher to Mikmethath east of Shechem. The border then went south to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but Tappuah itself, on the border of Manasseh, belonged to the tribe of Ephraim. Then the border continued down to the Kana ravine. East of the ravine, there were towns belonging to Ephraim, though lying among Manasseh's towns. The border of Manasseh went along the north side of the ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. On the south, the land belonged to Ephraim, on the north to Manasseh. The Mediterranean Sea was its border. To the north was Asher, and to the east was Issachar. Within Issachar and Asher, Manasseh also had Beth-shan, Ibleam, and the people of Dor, Endor, Tanakh, and Megiddo, together with their surrounding settlements and 3 hill country regions. Yet the Manassites were not able to occupy these towns, for the Canaanites were determined to live in that region. However, when the Israelites grew stronger, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor but never drove them out completely. The people of Joseph said to Joshua, "Why have you given us only one allotment and one portion for an inheritance? We are a numerous people, and the Lord has blessed us abundantly." "If you are so numerous," Joshua answered, "and if the hill country of Ephraim is too small for you, go up into the forest and clear ground for yourselves there in the land of the Perizzites and Rephaites." The people of Joseph replied, "The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who live in the plain have iron chariots, both those in Beth-shan and its settlements, and those in the valley of Jezreel." But Joshua said to the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, "You are numerous and very powerful. You will have not only one allotment, but the forested hill country as well. Clear it, and its farthest limits will be yours. Though the Canaanites have iron chariots and are strong, you can drive them out." The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The land was subdued before them. There were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Joshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I will send them out to make a survey of the land and to draw up a map of it according to the inheritance of each tribe. Then they will return to me. They are to divide it into 7 parts. Judah will remain in its territory to the south, and the tribes of Joseph in their territory to the north. After you have drawn up the map of the 7 parts of the land, bring it to me here, and I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, do not get a portion among you, because the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua instructed them, "Go and make a survey of the land and map it out, and return to me here. Then I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord in Shiloh." So the men left and went through the land and mapped it out by towns in a book. Then they returned to Joshua at the camp in Shiloh. Joshua then cast lots for them in Shiloh in the presence of the Lord, and there he distributed the land to the Israelites according to their tribal divisions. The lot came up for the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan. Their allotted territory lay between the tribes of Judah and Joseph. On the north, the boundary began at the Jordan, went up to the slopes of Jericho on the north, then westward through the hill country to the wilderness of Beth-aven. From there, it crossed to the south slope of Luz, that is Bethel, and went down to Adaroth-Adar on the hill south of lower Beth-horon. From the hill facing Beth-horon on the west, the boundary turned south toward Kiriath-Baal, that is Kiriath-Jearim, a town of the people of Judah. This was the western boundary. The southern boundary began at the outskirts of Kiriath-Jearim on the west, and went to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. The boundary then went down to the foot of the hill facing the valley of Ben Hinnom, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down the Hinnom Valley along the southern slope of the Jebusite city and on to En Rogel. From there it curved north and went to En Shemesh, continuing to Geliloth, which faces the pass of Adumim, and then down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. It continued to the northern slope of Beth Arabah and on down into the Arabah. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hoglah and came out at the northern bay of the Dead Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan. This was the southern boundary. The eastern boundary was the Jordan. These were the boundaries that defined the inheritance of the Benjamites for their clans. The towns of the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Parah, Ophrah, Kepharammoni, Ophni, and Gaba, 12 towns and their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Mozah, Rechem, Irpeel, Taralah, Zelah, Haleph, Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem, Gibeah, and Kiriath, 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. The second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon according to its clans. Their inheritance was within the territory of Judah. It included Beersheba or Sheba, Moladah, Hazar Shual, Bala, Ezem, Eltolad, Betul, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Susah, Beth Lebaoth, and Sheruhen, 13 towns and their villages, Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns as far as Baalath Beer, Ramah of the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Simeon, clan by clan. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the territory of Judah, because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. The third lot came up for Zebulun according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sered. From there it turned west, toward Maralah, went to Dabbesheth, and onto the ravine near Jokneam. From Sered it turned east toward the sunrise to the territory of Kisloth Tabor, and went on to Daberath and up to Japhia. Then it continued east to Gath-Hepher and Eth-Kazin, and came out at Rimmon, turning toward Neah. There the boundary went around on the north to Hanathon, and ended at the valley of Iftah-El. Included were Katath, Nahalal, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These were the towns and their villages allotted to the tribe of Zebulun, clan by clan. The fourth lot came out for Issachar according to its clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Kesaloth, Shunem, Haparaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabbath, Kishion, Ebez, Rameth, and Ganim, and Haddah, and Beth-Pazez. The boundary touched Tabor, Shahazuma, and Beth-Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These were the towns and their villages allotted to the tribe of Issachar, clan by clan. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher according to its clans. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Beton, Akshaph, Elimelech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west, the boundary touched Carmel and Shihor-Libnath. It then turned east toward Beth-Dagon, past Zebulun and the valley of Iftah-El, and went north to Beth-Emek and Neill. Then over to Kabul on the left. It continued to Abdon, Rehob, Hammon, and Cana, as far as Greater Sidon. Then it turned toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosa, and came out at the Mediterranean Sea in the region of Akzib, Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob. There were 22 towns and their villages. These were the towns and their villages allotted to the tribe of Asher, clan by clan. The sixth lot came out for the tribe of Naphtali, according to its clans. Their boundary went from Heleph, from the large tree in Zananim, passing Adami Nekeb and Jabneel, as far as Lakum, and ended at the Jordan. The boundary turned west to Aznoth Tabor and went from there to Hukok. It touched Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and the Jordan on the east. The fortified towns were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazor, Iron, Migdal-El, Horam, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These were the towns and their villages allotted to the tribe of Naphtali, clan by clan. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan according to its clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir-Shemesh, Shalabin, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbeton, Balath, Jehud, Beneberak, Gathrimmon, Mejarkan, and Rakan, with the area along the coast of Joppa. But the Danites had difficulty taking possession of their territory, so they went up and attacked Leshem, captured it, and put it to the sword. They took it over and settled there, calling it Dan after their ancestor Dan. These were the towns and their villages allotted to the tribe of Dan, clan by clan. When the Israelites finished dividing the land by lot and allotting it to the tribes, they gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them. By the Lord's command, they gave him the town he asked for Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. He rebuilt the town and settled there. These are the inheritances that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel distributed by lot at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find refuge from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to take them into their city and give them a place to live among them. If the avenger of blood pursues them, the elders must not surrender the one who committed manslaughter, because that person killed a neighbor unintentionally and without malice aforethought. They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest who is serving at that time. Then they may go back to their own home in the town from which they fled." So they set apart Kadesh and Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron in the hill country of Judah, east of the Jordan, across from Jericho. They designated Bezer in the wilderness on the plateau in the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan in the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the Israelites and for the foreigners residing among them, so that anyone who killed a person accidentally could flee there and not be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly.
I walked with questions heavier than my steps.
I carried fear I did not know how to name.
Still the road opened before us.
The land felt promised yet unfinished inside.
The silence taught me patience instead of shame.
God was still speaking in the waiting. When the lines were drawn, I feared being left out. When the work remained, I doubted my strength.
But His love did not measure our worth.
He made a place
Even for trembling hearts, I ran toward mercy when my past chased me.
I found refuge where judgment could not reach.
The city gates stood open in grace.
Love stood guard where fear once lived.
Justice moved gently under God's hand. Compassion breathed between every law.
He protected life with holy care. If you are afraid, there is refuge for you. If you are tired, there is rest for you. are broken, there is love for you.
No past is stronger than His mercy.
No wound is deeper than His voice.
You are still called His own.
Stay here where mercy waits.
Remain here where love
Speaks. This ground is not against you. It was prepared with you in mind. God walks with you through every season.
God stays with you through every breath.
And God has always loved you.
The heads of the Levitical families came to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the tribal families of Israel, at Shiloh in Canaan, and said to them, "The Lord commanded through Moses that you give us towns to live in, with pasture lands for our livestock." So, as the Lord had commanded, the Israelites gave the Levites out of their own inheritance the following towns and pasture lands. The first lot came out for the Kohathite clans. The Levites, who were descendants of Aaron the priest, were allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The other Kohathites were allotted 10 towns from the clans of Ephraim, Dan, and half of Manasseh. The Gershonites were allotted 13 towns from the clans of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The Merarites were allotted 12 towns from the clans of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites gave the Levites these towns and their pasture lands by lot, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. From the tribes of Judah and Simeon, they gave the following towns by name, which were assigned to the descendants of Aaron, who were from the Kohathite clans of the Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They were given Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, with its surrounding pasture lands, in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the forefather of Anak. But the fields and villages around Hebron were given to Caleb son of Jephunneh as his possession. So to the descendants of Aaron, the priests, they gave Hebron, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Holon, Debir, Ain, Judah, and Beth Shemesh. Together with their pasture lands, 9 towns from these 2 tribes. And from the tribe of Benjamin, they gave Gibeon, Geba, Anathoth, and Almon 4 towns and their pasture lands. The total number of towns for the priests, the descendants of Aaron, was 13, together with their pasture lands. The rest of the Kohathite clans of the Levites were allotted towns from the tribe of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim, they were given Shechem, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon, together with their pasture lands 4 towns. And from the tribe of Dan, they gave Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Aijalon, and Gath-Rimmon, together with their pasture lands 4 towns. And from the half-tribe of Manasseh, they gave Taanach and Gath-Rimmon, together with their pasture lands 2 towns. All these 10 towns and their pasture lands were given to the rest of the Kohathite clans. The Gershonite clans among the Levites received from the tribe of Issachar, Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Be-Eshterah, Daberath, Jarmuth, and En-Ganim, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher they gave Mishal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. And from the tribe of Naphtali they gave Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Hamath-dor and Kartan, together with their pasture lands, 3 towns. All these 13 towns and their pasture lands were given to the Gershonite clans. The Merarite clans, the rest of the Levites, received from the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam, Kartah, Dimnah, and Nahalal, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben they gave Bezer in the desert, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Jahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephath, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. And from the tribe of Gad they gave Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. In all, these were 12 towns with their pasture lands, allotted to the Merarite clans. The total number of towns for the Levites in the midst of the Israelite possession was 48, together with their pasture lands. Each of these towns had pasture land surrounding it. This was true for all of them. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their ancestors. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord gave all their enemies into their hands. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled. Then Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, "You have done all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and you have obeyed me in everything I commanded. For a long time now, to this very day, you have not deserted your fellow Israelites, but have carried out the mission the Lord your God gave you. Now that the Lord your God has given them rest as he promised, you may go back to your homes in the land that Moses the servant of the Lord gave you east of the Jordan River. But be very careful to keep the commandment and the law that Moses the servant of the Lord gave you, to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to keep his commands, to hold fast to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." Then Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their homes. To the half-tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given land in Bashan, and to the other half of the tribe, Joshua gave land on the west side of the Jordan, along with their fellow Israelites. When Joshua sent them home, he blessed them, saying, "Go back to your homes with your great wealth, with very many livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and a great quantity of clothing, and divide the plunder from your enemies with your fellow Israelites." So the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh left the Israelites at Shiloh in Canaan and returned to Gilead, their own territory, which they had acquired in accordance with the command of the Lord through Moses. When they came to Geliloth near the Jordan in the land of Canaan, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built an imposing altar there by the Jordan. And when the Israelites heard that the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh had built an altar on the border of Canaan, at Geliloth near the Jordan on the Israelite side, The whole assembly of Israel gathered at Shiloh to go to war against them. So the Israelites sent Phinehas son of Eleazar the priest to the land of Gilead to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. With him they sent 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribal families of Israel, each of them the head of a family division among the Israelite clans. When they came to Gilead, to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, they said to them, "The whole assembly of the Lord says, how could you break faith with the God of Israel by turning away from the Lord this day and building yourselves an altar in rebellion against him? Was not the sin of Peor enough for us? Up to this very day we have not cleansed ourselves from that sin, even though a plague fell on the Lord's people. And are you now turning away from the Lord? If you rebel against the Lord today, tomorrow he will be angry with the whole community of Israel. If the land you possess is defiled, come over to the Lord's land, where the Lord's tabernacle rests, and share the land with us. But do not rebel against the Lord or against us by building an altar for yourselves other than the altar of the Lord our God. When Achan son of Zerah acted unfaithfully regarding the devoted things, didn't wrath come on the whole community of Israel? He was not the only one who died for his sin. Then the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh replied to the heads of the clans of Israel, "The Mighty One, God the Lord. The Mighty One, God, the Lord, He knows, and let Israel know. If this has been in rebellion or disobedience to the Lord, do not spare us this day. If we built our own altar to turn away from the Lord, or to offer burnt offerings or grain offerings, or to sacrifice fellowship offerings on it, may the Lord Himself call us to account. No, we did this because we thought that in the future your descendants might say to ours, 'What do you have to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? The Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us and you Reubenites and Gadites. You have no share in the Lord, so your descendants might cause ours to stop worshiping the Lord.' That is why we said, 'Let us get ready and build an altar, not for burnt offerings or sacrifices, but as a witness between us and you and the generations that follow, that we will worship the Lord at His sanctuary with our burnt offerings, sacrifices, and fellowship offerings. Then in the future your descendants will not be able to say to ours, "You have no share in the Lord." And if in the future they say this to us or to our descendants, we will answer, "Look at the replica of the Lord's altar that our ancestors built, not for burnt offerings or sacrifices, but as a witness between us and you. Far be it from us to rebel against the Lord and turn away from Him today by building an altar for burnt offerings, grain offerings, or sacrifices, other than the altar of the Lord our God that stands before His tabernacle." When Phinehas the priest and the leaders of the community, the heads of the clans of Israel, heard what the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the Manassites said, they were pleased. And Phinehas son of Eleazar the priest said to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the Manassites, "Today we know that the Lord is among us, because you have not acted unfaithfully toward the Lord in this matter. As a result, you have rescued the Israelites from the Lord's hand." Then Phinehas son of Eleazar the priest and the chiefs returned to Canaan from the land of Gilead, from the Reubenites and Gadites, and reported to the Israelites. The report pleased the Israelites, and they praised God. And they spoke no more about going to war against them to devastate the country where the Reubenites and the Gadites lived. And the Reubenites and Gadites gave the altar this name, a witness between us that the Lord is God. After a long time had passed and the Lord had given Israel rest from all their enemies around them, Joshua, by then a very old man, summoned all Israel, their elders, leaders, judges, and officials, and said to them, I am very old. You yourselves have seen everything the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. The Lord your God has been fighting for you. Remember how I have allotted as an inheritance for your tribes all the nations that remain, the nations I conquered between the Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea in the west. The Lord your God himself will drive them out of your way. He will push them out before you, and you will take possession of their land, as the Lord your God promised you. Be very strong, be careful to obey all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, without turning aside to the right or to the left. Do not associate with these nations that remain among you. Do not invoke the names of their gods or swear by them. You must not serve them or bow down to them. But you are to hold fast to the Lord your God, as you have until now. The Lord has driven out before you great and powerful nations. To this day, no one has been able to withstand you. One of you routs 1,000, because the Lord your God fights for you as he promised. So be very careful to love the Lord your God. If you turn away and ally yourselves with the remnant of these nations that remain among you, and if you intermarry with them and associate with them, then you may be sure that the Lord your God will no longer drive these nations out before you. Instead, they will become snares and traps for you, whips on your backs and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from this good land, which the Lord your God has given you. As you can see, I am about to go the way of all the earth. You know with all your heart and soul that not one of all the good promises the Lord your God made to you has failed. Every one has been fulfilled for you. Not one of them has failed. But just as every good promise of the Lord your God has come true for you, so the Lord will bring on you all the evil he has threatened, until he has destroyed you from this good land which he has given you. If you violate the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go to serve other gods and bow down to them, the Lord's anger will burn against you, and you will quickly perish from the good land he has given you. Then Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel at Shechem. He summoned the elders, leaders, judges, and officials of Israel, and they presented themselves before God. Joshua said to all the people, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Long ago your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River and worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from the land beyond the Euphrates and led him throughout Canaan and gave him many descendants. I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I assigned the hill country of Seir to Esau, but Jacob and his family went down to Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron, and I afflicted Egypt by what I did there. And after that, I brought you out. When I brought your people out of Egypt, you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued them with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. But when they cried out to the Lord, He put darkness between you and the Egyptians. He brought the sea over them and covered them. You saw with your own eyes what I did to the Egyptians. Then you lived in the wilderness for a long time. I brought you to the land of the Amorites who lived east of the Jordan. They fought against you, but I gave them into your hands. I destroyed them from before you, and you took possession of their land. Then Balak son of Zippor, the king of Moab, prepared to fight against Israel. He sent for Balaam son of Beor to put a curse on you. But I would not listen to Balaam, so he blessed you again and again, and I delivered you from his hands. Then you crossed the Jordan and came to Jericho. The citizens of Jericho fought against you, as did the Amorites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hittites, Girgashites, Hivites, and Jebusites, but I gave them into your hands. I sent the hornet ahead of you, which drove them out before you, all the Amorite kings. You did not do it with your own sword or bow. So I gave you a land on which you did not toil and cities you did not build. And you live in them and eat from vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant. Now fear the Lord and serve Him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods your ancestors worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Then the people answered, Far be it from us to forsake the Lord to serve other gods. It was the Lord our God Himself who brought us and our parents up out of Egypt, from the land of slavery, and performed those great signs before our eyes, and protected us on our entire journey and among all the nations through which we traveled. And the Lord drove out before us all the nations, including the Amorites who lived in the land. We too will serve the Lord because He is our God. Joshua said to the people, You are not able to serve the Lord. He is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your rebellion or your sins. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, He will turn and bring disaster on you and make an end of you after He has been good to you. But the people said to Joshua, No, we will serve the Lord. Then Joshua said to the people, You are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen to serve the Lord. Yes, we are witnesses, they replied. Now then, said Joshua, throw away the foreign gods that are among you and yield your hearts to the Lord, the God of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, We will serve the Lord our God and obey Him. On that day, Joshua made a covenant for the people, and there at Shechem he reaffirmed for them decrees and laws. And Joshua recorded these things in the book of the law of God. Then he took a large stone and set it up there under the oak next to the sanctuary of the Lord. See, he said to all the people, this stone will be a witness against us. It has heard all the words the Lord has said to us. It will be a witness against you if you are untrue to your God. Then Joshua sent the people away, each to their own inheritance. After these things, Joshua son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110, and they buried him in the land of his inheritance. At Timnath Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gosh, Israel served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him and who had experienced everything the Lord had done for Israel. And Joseph's bones, which the Israelites had brought up from Egypt, were buried at Shechem in the tract of land that Jacob bought for 100 pieces of silver from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. This became the inheritance of Joseph's descendants. And Eleazar son of Aaron died and was buried at Gibeah, which had been allotted to his son Phinehas in the hill country of Ephraim.
Breathed after years of wandering and war. Every promise spoken now standing quietly fulfilled. The Levites received their cities among the people, teaching that God's presence belongs in every place.
Not one word the Lord had spoken fell to the ground. Faithfulness stretched from generation to generation.
Rest was given, not earned by strength alone. Peace settled where fear once ruled the night.
The people stood on ground shaped by grace,
remembering how the Lord had carried them.
Then Joshua spoke with a weathered but steady voice.
He told the story so it would never be forgotten. How God fought when they were weak, how God stayed when they were afraid. He warned them gently not to turn away. Love does not force, it invites the heart.
Choose today, he said, whom you will serve.
But he already knew where his heart belonged.
Stones were raised as witnesses of the covenant,
Silent yet stronger than words. Heaven and earth listening together.
a promise sealed with memory and trust.
Even when leaders pass and voices fade, God's love does not retire or grow.
If you stand at a crossroads today,
Know that grace still surrounds your choice.
the Lord who gave you rest still walks with you.
He has not withdrawn his hand.
He has not changed his heart. God has always loved you. God has always loved you. God has always loved you.
Tonight we read the entire book of Joshua together, from be strong and courageous at the beginning, to the walls of Jericho falling, the miracle when the sun stood still, 85-year-old Caleb's faith, inheritance given to each tribe, and finally the confession, As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. God fulfilled every single promise He made. Not one failed. God's promises will surely be fulfilled in your life too. You've done so well today. Rest peacefully now. Sleep well, sweet dreams.